What is going on? Hey, everybody, it's the Morning Night Live. And, hey, a new viewer, God of Cheese. Welcome to the show. You'll get to find out what it's about in about 45 seconds from now, because I got an intro to play. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dawg Knight. And stop the music. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dawg Knight. I am here today. What I was going to say? I was going to say with a heavy heart, but not with a heavy heart, with a happy heart. I have a happy heart today. So good morning. Okay, so here's the thing. I was going to talk about, the new prime minister in Great Britain, Boris Johnson. I had a little video all set up, ready to go, and somehow I nixed that. So I'm going to change it up because before I went to work this morning, I was on Twitter and I was watching. I didn't want to talk about this Kathy Zhu. You know who Kathy Zhu is? She is the Chinese American girl in Michigan. She's a conservative. She's a Trump supporter. Well, she won the Miss Michigan pageant. I didn't really, and she lost her crown because some old tweets and stuff. And that's just, it's one of those stories you get sick of hearing about. Until this morning, I was I was on Twitter. And she was tweeting about something about an interview she had with Allison Camerata on CNN. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to check it out. Wait, what? What's going on here? Oh, got alert driving. Oh, okay, Sarah. Oh, I'll say hi to everybody in a minute. So she had this interview with Allison Camerata on CNN. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch this interview because it just seems like Allison kept asking the same question over and over again. And so she got a little annoyed. So we're going to look at this interview first. This is the first thing we're going to do. I normally, if you're new here, this is kind of what I do. Every once in a while, we'll watch videos or look at some headlines of the day and just talk about what's going on in the world. And then eventually on some days I have guests. So for those of you who are new, there you go. That's what I do. But we're going to watch this interview with Allison Camerata and Kathy Zhu because it annoyed the hell out of me because of one question that Allison Camerata asked. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So I'm going to pull this up real quick. I think I have it queued. Yes, I do. Here's the YouTube video. Let's just watch this. I got to turn my desktop audio back on. And, all right, let's check it out. This is the Beauty Queen defends tweets that stripped her of her crown. Here we go.
White people cause white death.
Oh, no. Hang on. Oops, sorry about that. Let me see.
Michigan beauty.
Hang on. Let me get a little volume on this bad boy real quick. All right. Before I hit play, I'm sorry, folks. Hold on. Got to do something very important. I got to say hello. Hello, everybody. And Maddie of MWM Media got first. She gets the bell. Also, good morning, Necrosol Collins, RVA, Maniac Man. Welcome for the first time, God of Cheese, and Jason Burns, Richo, Sarah, and that's it for now. Johnny Bonsacco. All right. Welcome to the show. It's the first time I've seen you here, too. So, hey, we grow a little bit each time we go on. There you go. All right, let's get back to this because I really just want to. I'm going to vent a little bit, and I think I keep saying, I'm going to start making videos. I'm going to stop making videos again. This is the video that I'm going to make, and so I may take clips from this show, or I just make a standalone video about this. But this drives me nuts. So here we go. Let's watch this interview real quick.
Beauty pageant winner and outspoken supporter of President Trump has her crown revoked. She claims it was over her political views. Kathy Zhu was abruptly stripped of her title of...
Now, right off the bat, okay, Allison frames this by making her a Trump supporter first, and then they show the pictures of her in Trump gear. So they're framing this as her being a Trump supporter. And you got to also, as you're watching this, watch how Allison's face changes as she asks and listens to answers of questions. All right, here we go.
Miss Michigan last week after some past tweets came to the attention of pageant officials, and Kathy Jew joins us now. Kathy, thanks for being here. So just to get the story straight, the pageant officials said that they found your social media content to be offensive, insensitive, and inappropriate. Do you see why they felt that way?
Watch Allison's face.
Honestly, you shouldn't just take tweets out of context. I think it's super important to the full context of the tweet and the full conversation. Everything I've posted was my statistics and opinions, and I think that we should be empowering women's voices and not just stripping them of their title only because of their opinions.
So let's look at some of your posts that I think that they had objections to. So here was one. This was from October 2017. I think it was in reference to some conversation about Black Lives Matter. You wrote, "Did you know the majority of black deaths are caused by other blacks?"
All right, real quick. Now, Allison just said either Allison doesn't know how to use Twitter or has never been on Twitter, which I know she has because she's on Twitter. Allison says, "Oh, let me see your tweet. I think it's in reference to Black Lives Matters." Well, look, she is putting a copy of the tweet up on the screen that tells you exactly what the tweet's in reference to, because it's a response to the little tweet that's right here in the middle underneath it. So Allison already knows that. So it's clearly she's responding to another tweet. And so let Allison read the rest of the tweet and we'll listen to the answer real quick.
Fix problems within your own community first before blaming others. So do you see how that could be seen as offensive?
This tweet was actually in response to another person talking about how all blacks or all cops are bad people, that they kill innocent black people. And I think that you shouldn't just put a blanket statement over all cops. Again, read full tweets and context to make sure to see the full story.
Yeah, but I guess your point of, did you know the majority of black deaths are caused by other blacks? What's your point?
Okay, hold on. What do you think her point was? What do you think her point was, Allison? Now look at Allison's face too. Allison's all mad now. Yeah, what do you? But look, the point was she's responding to someone saying, "Stop killing black people." Okay, stop killing people in my demographic, not Kathy's, but my demographic, right? And Allison makes the point that more people, black people, are killed by other black people. Okay, now listen. Just listen to this. This is you're gonna get to the point that's gonna piss me off here.
That's statistics, and you can find that on FBI's website. This is all backed up by statistics and facts. I think it's really, really awful how the left thinks that statistics and facts are racist. So I don't think anything I said was remotely wrong. I stand by every tweet that I post.
And do you know who causes the majority of white deaths?
Ah! That's the one that pisses me off. Now, all of the time, look, I understand the impetus of the Black Lives Matter movement. And all during that time, the people would say, some people would say Black Lives Matters. And I completely understand the point of the movement. But they used to get so pissed off when people would say, well, all lives matter. Allison, and the answer to that, if you're talking to an activist, well, we're talking about black lives. Allison sits here and asks, well, do you know what statistics of people who kill?
So I don't think anything I said was remotely
people?
wrong. I stand by every tweet that I post.
And do you know who causes the majority of white deaths?
Oh, Allison, let me just, are you saying all lives matter, Allison? Are you asking, we're talking about black lives right now. Isn't that the same answer you would give to someone who says all lives matter? Now Kathy wasn't thinking that fast on her feet. But the first time I saw that, I said, wait a minute. Well, if we were talking about white lives, and if she was responding to something about white lives, then yes, maybe that would be appropriate to talk about what kills white people. Okay, but we're not talking about white lives. And that's the statement that she was responding to was not talking about white lives. So wouldn't it be kind of out of place to suddenly go, well, if you know the statistics, well, the black people kill black people and more white people kill white people, blah, 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 blah. No, that would be out of context. And you looked at what she was responding to. Now, do I think it was her place to go jump into that argument? I don't know. I don't care. She's allowed to have an opinion. Can a woman have an opinion anymore? I'm just curious. But okay, so anyway, let's keep going here.
Yeah, this is, apparently this is white people cause white deaths. It's not even that's the issue. The issue is that people didn't know that I was responding to another person calling cops bad people.
Now here, I don't even like her answer. Her answer's not even that good because look, if you want to talk about statistics, okay, let's look at some statistics. Let's actually look at some statistics, okay? So here, now this is 2015, but this is about the time because this report came out in 2016. So this is when the tweet was from. Okay, now this is the leading cause of death by age group, white males in the United States, 2015. So this is the report that came out in 2016. If you look at the totals here, you got heart disease, cancer, unintentional injuries, blah, 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 blah. But generally, when we talk about the Black Lives Matter movement, we're talking about, when they stop killing black people, they're talking about stop killing young black men, right? All right, so let's look at, so we're going to look at the whites here, okay? So of ages, I'm going to go ages 15 to 34 because that's, I would say, young men, right? For white men, 43% of white lives, people who die at that age, males, between 43 and 46, 49% of them are dying from unintentional injuries, suicide, around 20, between 20 and 17 and 25%, homicide, 8.6 to 7.6, 5.8%, right? And then you got cancer, heart disease, and homicide drops down here, 5.1% for that age group, birth defects, and so on, right? Well, now let's look at it for young black men. Okay, which is the next page here. Now, as a percentage, now look, first of all, if you go back to here, I'm going to do this, go back here. Let's go back real quick. Oh, where'd that page go? Here, we're going to open them in separate pages so I can do this faster. Excuse me. So if we look at the top 10, just for all white men, heart disease, cancer, unintentional injury, chronic lower respiratory disease, stroke, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, suicide, influenza, chronic liver disease. Notice something missing in that. The top 10 killers of white men in all age groups. Now we go into the young men. Again, homicide's third, but 8.6%, between 5.8% and 8.6%. Unintentional injuries, number one cause of death, almost close to 50% for young white males. Now let's look at young black males. Okay, Allison, you could have looked this up yourself if you're asking the damn question, but you don't want to hear this. Now let's look at just for all ages black men. Heart disease 1, cancer 2, unintentional injury, stroke number 4, homicide number 5. Young black men ages 15 to 34, homicide almost 50%, homicide almost 50%, homicide 35.5%. Number one, and almost 50% of all deaths of young black men are homicide. So when she goes in there and says, gets a statistic, who's killing people in my demographic? Okay? When you go with the FBI statistics, yes, 90% of black men homicides are done by black men. Okay, so we're talking about Black lives, Allison. That's why it's important. People ask I've been listening to that stupid question ever since the Black Lives movement came up. You know, when people bring up statistics, well, look, if we really care about black lives, how are we going to stop the number one killer of young black men? Homicide, mostly by other young black men. We have to fix that within our demographic. And if you want to talk about our demographic, have the facts, okay? Now, she brought up a fact, okay? It's not a comfortable fact, but it's a fact, Allison. So you asking about, well, what about white on white crime? Well, white on white crime isn't killing 50% of your white young men. They are killing 50% of our white young men, and that's why we want to talk about it. And that's why other people want to. And when you have the man bites dog incident that gets blown up on CNN when a cop kills a young black man, when was the last time you had a stopped for a breaking news report about a cop killing a young white man? Because cops kill white men too. But no. Have you ever seen a protest about a cop killing a white kid? Have you ever seen for an unarmed white kid? Because statistically, cops kill more white kids. Now, am I excusing cops for killing black kids? Hell no. I think cops should be a little more diligent about not killing people. But it happens within the line of duty. Most of the time, if they're justified, it's pretty rare when they're not. But numerically, yeah, they kill more white kids or white men. Okay. Now, granted, if you want to talk proportionality, okay, there's a proportional issue. Sure. There sure is. Absolutely. But also there's a per incident proportionality that still says you're more likely to get killed by a cop in a interaction with a white person than a black person. There's a Harvard study on that. So let's not pretend you really give a shit, Allison, about white on white crime. All your point here is because you are on CNN and because Kathy Zhu is a Trump supporter, you want to make her out to be a racist because that's what CNN is made for right now. I think that comes from the top. I'm pretty sure Zucker, is it Zucker? Yeah, Jeffrey Zucker, the guy that owns CNN now. I'm pretty sure this comes from the top because your whole network is dedicated to pointing out racism of Trump right now. Okay. Now, has Trump said dumb things? Sure. I'm never going to disagree. I'm never going to pretend he hasn't. But that's what you are doing, Allison. Let's watch the rest of this, and I'll try not to throw up. Here we go.
Right. I guess my point is, why would you focus on blacks causing black deaths when the majority of white deaths are caused by white people? Why?
False. The majority of white deaths are caused by unintentional injuries. Birth defects, cancer, suicide, heart disease. Unintentional injuries. Young black deaths, homicide. Number 3 for this age group. Number 2 for ages 10 to 14. Allison, apparently you didn't do any research before you did this interview. And what was she responding to? The tweet said, "Stop killing black people," talking about police officers. Notice what's not, now homicide is in here. If you look at FBI statistics, which I didn't pull up, I'm pretty sure that the homicide by cop, and now when I say homicide, I'm not saying the crime of homicide, but homicide, one person killing another, okay? Even a justifiable homicide is a homicide. About 0.7% of black homicides, or it might even be less than that now, are by a police officer or any form of an officer of the law. So Allison, I can tell you, Allison needs to have me on. I'll piss her off. I guarantee it.
You know, this is why people think that that has a ring of racism to it. You didn't mention the white statistic.
I didn't mention the white statistic because there was no question about the white statistic. The tweet she was responding to was, quote, "Stop killing black people." So she responded by talking about what's killing black people. We're talking about black people now, Allison. We're not talking about white people. So that statistic probably wouldn't have come up.
Again, this is in response to another person's tweet talking about how cops kill black people. And this is, I can't just take a tweet and just, turn it around saying, oh, white and white violence too. Of course, everyone has problems with their own communities, and I completely understand that. But, we have to empower women's voices, honestly, to show that, we could have different political opinions and that not just statistics and facts are racist.
Well, first of all, the pageant wasn't calling you racist. They were saying insensitive and offensive content. And again,
Allison, you just contradicted yourself. You, in the beginning of this interview, you said, you said that the tweets were racist. So what are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about, Allison? But now you say the pageant didn't say the tweets were racist? Maybe they did. Maybe they said they were inappropriate. But what were they? What was inappropriate about them? Oh, maybe they were racially insensitive. Now it's anyway.
The person who focused in on that statistic. That's the statistic that you decided to highlight instead of police excessive force.
So she asked her once, well, what about white on white crime? What about this statistic? Well, that's because I was responding to the question of who's killing blacks. Well, what about this statistic? Well, you focus on this statistic. Isn't that racist? No, because I was focusing on responding to the tweet about who's killing blacks. Now she asked her a third time the same damn question. It was in response to a very specific statement.
Those statistics. And so this is what got the attention of pageant officials.
Because out of context, sure, it could be. If she just out of the blue decided to tweet that, then I would be going, well, what? Why would you just out of the blue tweet that? But she didn't just out of the blue tweet that. She tweeted that in response to another statement, Allison.
False, because if you read the text through the state director, she actually quoted the tweet that I said and said, "Is this racist? This is racist, right?" I mean, again, this is taken fully out of context, and I think that if you actually think that statistics and facts are racist, I don't know what to tell you. I think again
it's just
we
which
should.
ones you highlight. I mean, it's just which ones you highlight. Since you could have said the thing about white people, but let's move on to.
In response. That would have made sense. Stop killing blacks. Hey, did you know that white people die the most from unintentional injuries? Holy God. Hey, Evil One, how you doing? Marsupial Gamer, good morning. Think a couple other. Diesel Dave, what's up, man? Hey, nice to see you, man. Are you driving, dude? Don't be typing and driving now. All right, let's keep going here.
Your next tweet.
Okay, so then she goes on and they talk about this. The other tweet that she tweeted about hijab day at her school, and she did not want to wear a hijab. But I'm gonna skip that because that wasn't my point today. So, all right, moving on. Couple headlines today that I wanted to get to, or a couple items that I did want to get to. Let me get those up here real quick. We'll get rid of Allison because she drives me nuts. Let's see. Let's see. Is this the one? No, I don't want to talk about this. Oh, by the way, now I'm not going to... Here's an article that was very interesting, but it's really too long to get into today. But I'm going to put it in the chat from City Journal talking about all you need to know about mass incarceration. You can right-click this and open it and read it later. I just thought it was a pretty good article. But again, it's too long to get into. But what I really wanted to get into is... so tomorrow... If you weren't already aware, the special counsel, Robert Mueller, is going to be testifying in front of 2 congressional committees jointly, and then some of the rest of his team will be having some behind closed doors testimony. So tomorrow, Mueller is supposed to be testifying for about 5 hours. And if you were paying attention to the news last week, another little bit, another piece of this puzzle in the whole Trump so-called crimes, which are basically, if you watch Hard Bastard, he calls them media crimes because they're not crimes, they're just crimes according to the media. Another piece of that puzzle fell apart. And so this was the article that came out last week. The Fed's probe into Trump's hush money, quote unquote, payments is over, judge says. A federal probe into hush money payments made to protect Donald Trump during the 2016 presidential campaign has concluded, according to a judge order released Wednesday. At issue is an investigation led by the Southern District of New York, the Southern District of New York was supposed to be the Democrats' savior. You know, they couldn't charge anyone else with collusion, so the Southern Democrats are hoping the Stormy Daniels scandal would be the one thing that take down Trump. You know, it's the doors are the walls are closing in, right? That's their favorite phrase. At issue is an investigation led by the Southern District of New York, connected to Michael Cohen. Oh, everyone remembers Michael Cohen, right? Good, Sarah. Hey, Sarah. Me neither. I would not wear a hijab. At issue, connection to Michael Cohen, the former personal lawyer to Trump, who is serving a 3-year prison term in part for breaking campaign finance law. Now, let's talk about that because let's see, who did I pull this article from? This is from Politico. So, Michael Cohen was charged with a number of crimes. Okay, now he got into a plea deal where he pled guilty to several of these crimes, one of which was campaign finance law. Now, his lawyer, of course, everything connected in this case has something connected back to the Clintons. His lawyer was Lanny Davis, okay? And Lanny Davis, if you're not familiar, is just this Clinton crony, Clinton lawyer who's been, involved with the Clintons since they've been in politics pretty much. And so he got Cohen to plead guilty to all this stuff in exchange for only getting 3 years in prison, because he was looking at about 15 years if all the charges stuck. And one of the charges they threw in there was a campaign finance law violation. Okay, now if you're familiar with campaign finance law, for example, let's take our former President Barack Obama. President Barack Obama's campaign had the biggest fine ever for violating campaign finance laws. I think it was I can't remember, it was 4 or 10, I can't remember the dollar amount. But breaking campaign finance laws is not usually a prison sentence offense, okay? Usually the campaign gets fined millions and millions of dollars. The biggest campaign is how much? $35 to $50 million? Oh no. The biggest campaign finance law violation in the history of the United States was the Barack Obama campaign. Now, so they add this little campaign finance law violation to Michael Cohen for the fact that Michael Cohen paid off Stormy Daniels as part of this non-disclosure agreement, whatnot. Okay, and so they've been trying to call this a campaign finance law violation for Trump because Trump was connected to that, right? But the problem with that is apparently our president this isn't the first time that he's had paid somebody for a non-disclosure agreement for certain activities. Let's just put it that way, okay? So for this to be a campaign finance violation, in court. So because Cohen pleaded guilty, it never went to court. No one had to adjudicate it. It wouldn't have been a campaign. It would be easy to say that it's not a campaign finance violation because it wasn't connected to the campaign. They didn't use campaign funds. Okay. Trump was paying Cohen his normal retainer fee. Cohen reimbursed himself through that retainer fee. It had been done before he was ever running for anything. So you could easily show a prior pattern of making these types of payments for certain activities. That particular charge would have never stuck in the first place. Okay. Cohen's in prison because he had 4 or 5 other charges that he would have went to prison for that easily that they could actually charge him with and prove that he did. So that's why he's in prison. He made a deal. He had Lanny Davis write him a statement. He went to Congress and testified before Congress with a statement that was clearly written by Lanny Davis. It wasn't by Michael Cohen. And so they've been using the word hush money. Okay. So anyway, let's go back into this article. Trump itself was implicated in Cohen's crimes, which involved hush money payments to women that federal prosecutors have said were designed to sway the presidential election? Really? That's interesting. That's an interesting way to put it. Anyway, Cohen cooperated with federal prosecutors as part of his plea deal with the government, but their wider effort is now over, U.S. District Court Judge William Pauley wrote in a 3-page order. Now, Pauley's a Clinton appointee, by the way. Oh, it's in the article. Anyway, the government now represents that it has concluded aspects of an investigation that justified the continued sealing of the portions of the materials related to Cohen's campaign finance violations. Pauley wrote, the judge, an appointee of President Bill Clinton, made the disclosure in a ruling on a related matter dealing with the release of sealed information contained in already public search warrants tied to the Cohen case. Now, those search warrants, it's funny because the search warrants for Cohen, they describe these things as hush money payments, blah, blah, blah. But it's the search warrants. It's not the... It was the information that was used to justify the search warrants. It still hasn't been adjudicated. He pled guilty to a charge which probably wouldn't have stuck. Pauley rejected the government's request to keep some of the search warrants material in the Cohen case sealed, and instead ordered public release by Tuesday. Blah blah blah. Let's see. But here's the problem. Let's see. Where is it here? Well, here's the rub. Okay, in this judge's order, they are not going to prosecute anybody else. Okay. Let's see. The campaign finance violations discussed in the materials are a matter of national importance. Pauley added, he's going to put Pauley, a Clinton appointee. Again, it turns out just by releasing these warrants, basically just gives you innuendo of something that's never been tried. And since Cohen pled guilty, okay. Are we having stream problems here? Try to refresh your screen. Okay, it looks like it's okay. Where are we at? Let's see. I'm sorry. The campaign finance violations discussed in the materials are a matter of national importance. Pauley added, now that the government's investigation into these violations has concluded, it is time that every American has opportunity to scrutinize these materials, meaning the congressional committees. Indeed, the common law right of access, a right so enshrined in our identity that it predates even the Constitution itself, derives from the public's right to learn of, monitor, and respond to the actions of their representatives and representative institutions. So basically, he just wants this out there basically as a way to make sure that it looks bad for Trump. But you know what? everything looks bad for Trump. It's like, and where's that gotten him? Who's been winning in this ongoing battle? Seems like Trump seems to win every single battle, so I don't know what they're trying to do here. It is unclear who exactly has been under scrutiny in connection with the Southern District campaign finance probe, though Cohen testified to a House committee in February that he had maintained constant contact with the New York-based federal prosecutors about several ongoing investigations, including probes into Trump. Last week, CNN reported that officials at the Trump organization hadn't had any contact with SDNY officials, SDNY officials, for more than 5 months, and a source tied to the president's namesake company isn't disputing that story. The spokesman for the attorney's office declined to comment about the status of the campaign finance probe. Alan Futerfis, an attorney for the Trump organization, said he was reviewing the judge's order and declined current further comment. So anyway, is the case closed? Now, Lanny Davis, again, Cohen's attorney and Clinton confidant, case closed, Cohen attorney Lanny Davis said in a statement that questioned why his client was the only member of the Trump company to be prosecuted and imprisoned. Hold up, Lanny. Lanny. The reason that your client is the only one prosecuted and imprisoned. Well, first of all, he was never technically prosecuted because he pled guilty. Okay? Yes, he was technically prosecuted. But remember, he wasn't only pleading guilty to campaign finance violations. Let's remember this, Lanny Davis. You know the answer to this, Lanny. The reason because no one, even if they were prosecuted for campaign finance violations, so this would have been a $130,000 campaign finance violation. What is the normal punishment for a campaign finance violation? A fine, at worst. Nobody goes to jail for campaign finance violations. Otherwise, there would have been a whole lot of people in the Obama campaign in jail right now. None of them are. That's why your client is the only member of the Trump company to be prosecuted and imprisoned, because he was being charged with other charges. Mortgage fraud. He had like 5 or 6 different charges. The campaign finance violation was only one of them. And if that were the only thing that he would have been charged with, he would have got a fine. Oh, except, well, there is one exception. There is one person in the entire history of the United States who actually has gone to jail for a campaign finance violation. And that is Dinesh D'Souza. Okay? He got railroaded for some campaign finance violation, had to go to jail. And then he actually, he got pardoned. So there you go. Now, according to this, however, Nick Ackerman, former SDNY prosecutor, said the judge's disclosure about the hush money probe's end doesn't mean that all matters are closed related to Cohen, and all matters related to Cohen are finished. He said there could be federal investigations into violations at the Trump organization dealing with tax law, foreign bribery statutes, or other matters. Yeah, they are fishing. It's funny. Trump was the cleanest businessman on the planet until he won the presidency. And now, boy, they are man, they got the full length garden shovel size probe in his rectum right now at every angle they can get. They seem to be losing at every turn. So anyway, good morning, Necrosol Collins. I'm glad to see you here. Oh, I said hi to you already. Who did I miss? Marcia the Gamer. I see you're here. I said hi to you. Okay, I got most of you. Oh, Lindsay. Hey, what's going on? All right. So yeah, that's enough of that article. Moving on. Let's see, what was my next one? I had one other one that I really wanted to go into today. Oh, now this is interesting. Speaking of the Mueller testimony, a lot of this has been about. There's been a lot of talk lately. At least if you're listening to, I listen to a lot of different voices, and a lot of people who are a lot of the anti-Trump people. They're not on the left. A lot of them are on the right. Want to talk about obstruction of justice. They're really hoping that tomorrow Robert Mueller spends most of their time on obstruction of justice. I'm sure, though, that the Republicans on the committees want to ask him more about the Russia part of this, because that's what the whole special counsel thing was about. But one of the aspects that they're going to talk about is obstruction of justice, and they want to talk about how the firing of James Comey is supposedly obstruction of justice, right? Well, there's an interesting article on Real Clear Investigations that I just popped up here. And we're going to see this probably in the Inspector General report that comes out soon. We're not sure when that's coming out. Justice Department watchdog has evidence Comey probed Trump on the sly. Now, that doesn't sound good. I don't want to hear about anyone probing Trump on the sly, but it is one of the most enduring and consequential mysteries of the Trump-Russia investigation. Why did former FBI Director James Comey refuse to say publicly what he was telling President Trump in private, that Trump was not the target of an ongoing probe? That refusal ignited a chain of events that has consumed Washington for more than 2 years, including Comey's firing by Trump, the appointment of special counsel Robert Mueller, and ongoing claims that Trump obstructed justice. Yes, that has been one of the biggest questions. Remember, a big thing that was going on, one of the things when Trump came into office, one of the reasons he was fired, according to the president, is because when Comey told Trump in private that he was not the subject of the investigation. And so the president wanted him to say that publicly and not just to him in private. And Comey kind of refused to do that, right? And so, so Trump's like, well, no, this is part, that's your job. If I'm not under investigation personally, why won't you say that in public? So that is basically how the whole special counsel thing came about. He fired Comey, and Comey leaked some conversations to the New York Times, and then the New York Times, helped, or to some professor who leaked to the New York Times. Basically, Comey broke the law there. Anyway, he leaked some classified information, which I'm surprised that. That may come back to bite him still. Anyway, let's move on. Now, an answer is emerging. Sources tell Real Clear Investigations that Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz will soon file a report with evidence indicating that Comey was misleading the president. Even as he repeatedly assured Trump that he was not a target, the former director was secretly trying to build a conspiracy case against the president, while at times acting as the investigative agent. And you know what? He was acting as the FBI director at the leisure of the president of the United States, who has full autonomy to appoint and fire and whatever the director of the FBI. How about that? Two U.S. officials briefed on the Inspector General's investigation of possible FBI misconduct said Comey was essentially running a covert operation against the president, starting with a private defensive briefing he gave Trump just weeks before his inauguration. They said Horowitz has examined high-level FBI text messages and other communications indicating Comey was actually conducting a counterintelligence assessment of Trump during that January 2017 meeting in New York. In addition to adding notes of his meeting and phone calls with Trump to the official FBI case file, Comey had an agent inside the White House who reported back to FBI headquarters about Trump and his aides, according to other officials familiar with the matter. Although Comey took many actions on his own, he was not working in isolation. One focus of Horowitz's inquiry is the private January 6, 2017 briefing Comey gave the president-elect in New York about material in the Democratic Commission's dossier compiled by ex-British intelligence officer Christopher Steele, paid for by the Hillary Clinton campaign and the DNC, using foreign agents and colluding with the Russians to bring that material to a head. That was my own part. Here's what it says here. Dossier compiled by British intelligence agent Christopher Steele. Reports of that meeting were used days later by BuzzFeed, CNN, and other outlets as a news hook for reporting on the dossier's lascivious and unsubstantiated claims, which still, as we know, 90% of that report was fiction. And in fact, well, let me see if they, I was going to talk about that, but maybe they'll say it in this article. Let me read on here. Comey's meeting with Trump took place one day after the FBI director met in the Oval Office with President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden to discuss how to brief Trump. A meeting attended by National Security Advisor Susan Rice, Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson, Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, and National Intelligence Director James Clapper, who would soon go to work for CNN. In his recently published memoir, A Higher Loyalty, Comey denied having a counterintelligence case file open on Trump, though he qualified the denial by adding that this was true only in the literal sense. I didn't have a file on him. That's only clue in the literal sense. I didn't have a file. I had a notebook. Okay? It wasn't a file. It was a notebook. So in the literal sense, I did not have a file. It was a notebook. God. He also twice denied investigating Trump under oath in congressional testimony. What is it called when you lie under oath? There's a word for that. Anybody know that word? Is everybody still here? Is my stream off? Oh no. Did it freeze and I didn't know? Oh no. Are y'all here? Did my stream die? Let's see. Is it just me? Okay, I see the chat still there. Do I need to refresh my own damn stream? I can't tell if it's working. Okay, still an error. Oh. Okay, well, hopefully. Are y'all still... Well, it says I have viewers. Okay. If y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, you see me. Okay. All right. Okay. I think what's happening is it's way behind on mine. Okay, y'all are good. All right, cool. All right. Anyway, it's just a huge lag between me and y'all. All right. So former prosecutor Andrew McCarthy, who's written extensively on Trump-Russia probe, and a columnist for the National Review, said that just because the president's name was not put on a file or a surveillance warrant does not mean that Comey FBI was not investigating him. They were hoping to surveil him incidentally, and they were trying to make a case on him, McCarthy said. The real reason Comey did not want to repeat publicly the assurances he made to Trump privately is that these assurances were misleading. The FBI strung Trump along, telling him that he was not a suspect while structuring the investigation in accordance with the reality that Trump was the main subject. So, he lied under oath, also known as perjury. He did some crazy stuff. But former FBI counterintelligence agent and lawyer Mark Walk said the FBI lacked legal grounds to treat Trump as a suspect. They had no cause against Trump himself for collusion or espionage, he said. They were scrambling to come up with anything to hang a hat on, but found nothing. What remains unclear is why Comey would take such extraordinary steps against the sitting president. The Mueller report concluded there's no basis for the Trump-Russia collusion conspiracy theories. Comey himself was an early skeptic of the Steele dossier. The opposites and research memos paid for by Hillary Clinton's campaign that were the roadmap of collusion theories, which he dismissed as salacious and unverified. That's the other thing. So this Mueller probe, because we're going to find out tomorrow. I'm sure they're going to ask Mueller this question. So we know that Comey thought the Steele dossier was salacious and unverified. Okay. Now they say they didn't use the Steele dossier for the FISA warrants to get Carter Page and investigate Papadopoulos and all those people, whatnot. And yet they felt a need to brief the president on that dossier, right? So obviously that was a shot across the bow of the president. Don't mess with us because we have shit on you, even if it's not real. They're gonna mess with them. But then Comey testifies before Congress too that they weren't investigating the president. That he was not. What was the words they used up here? He denied investigating Trump under oath in congressional testimony, and yet they have evidence that he was investigating the president. So again, we have that word perjury. That somebody got it up there, right? Yeah, Necrosol, you got it. Perjury. So I don't know. Let's see. Comey had 9 conversations with Trump between January and May 2017. Some in the White House. Almost every time he went back to FBI headquarters and wrote up a memo documenting not only his version of the conversation, but also a complete update of the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, the FBI code name for the Trump-Russia probe, launched in July 2016. Some of the notes, which Comey locked in a safe, cited classified sources and methods, including the identities of witnesses and informants along with the code names their FBI handlers assigned to them, according to federal court papers. They also document the assistance provided by foreign intelligence agencies. Assistance by foreign intelligence agencies. There's a name for... like foreign collusion? But that's with the FBI. They are said to be a map of not only of his agents' investigative activity related to Crossfire Hurricane, but also his own dealings with the president. Now, some of those notes are the ones he leaked to his friend, the professor, who leaked them to the New York Times. That also, some of those were classified, had classified information on what they say. Let's see. Identities of witnesses as long as their code names. What's that word that phrase they'd like to use? I just read it up here. Something in methods. Okay, I lost it. But anyway, which is the big thing. That's the big thing. Like every time somebody in Congress wants to make something public, sources and methods. Every time someone wants to make something public in Congress, one side will say, "Well, you're going to be disclosing sources and methods. We can't give that to the public." And then if the other side wants to, make something public, well, you're going to give up sources and methods. It's a great excuse. But anyway, let's just put it this way. This article goes long. I'll put a link to that in the chat too. Basically, Comey has been lying, and I want to know if, when Mueller testifies tomorrow, if that gets addressed. That's what I want addressed, because, and there's a couple other people. Andrew McCabe has lied on several occasions. There's a good chance he's going to get prosecuted. The Inspector General report is probably going to be more important than the Mueller testimony tomorrow. Mueller has said that he is only going to talk about things that are in the report, and but I think he's going to get asked questions that he's going to asked a lot of questions. Hopefully, that if he answers them truthfully, will clean up a lot of the issues that are concerning. And who knows? I don't think. But the problem is, we're not going to get anything new tomorrow, and this is just a dog and pony show, so they can. It's a dog and pony show, so the Democrats can have more of the stuff in the report made public, which is already public, but not everyone reads. So they want to make it basically this is their anti-Trump campaign. This is how they're going to. They think they're going to get the White House back in 2020. I got a feeling that when some of these reports come out and some people start getting prosecuted for these the perjuries and different things that they did that were illegal, I think you're going to see. It's really weird. I don't see any of the candidates that are running against Trump getting much limelight, because the elephant in the room is always going to be Trump, okay, because he blows the biggest horn. And two, I don't think the other candidates are going to be able to overcome this whole Russia collusion, all this stuff falling apart, because it's been their one giant. They had a basket that they could have gotten several different grocery items with, but they've all filled that basket with bread. Okay, all they have is bread and bread and water, and you can't live on bread and water. All right, let's move on. Enough of that one. Oh, by the way, gosh, what's this from? This is from a couple days ago. So now, let's talk a little bit about what's going on at the border. This is interesting. Now, this is the other one too. This whole thing with the border crisis, that it wasn't a crisis, but now it's a crisis, and now we're keeping kids. Excuse me. Oh, but I need a sip of my reparations coffee. Hold up. Okay. So now the latest accusation, because they're also running on this border thing and trying to pull at the heartstrings of America by there's basically, again, using children. Democrats, specifically Jerry Nadler, accuses border agents of torturing children now. Representative Jerry Nadler, Democrat, New York, accused Border Patrol agents of child abuse and negligent homicide and systematic torture of children at the border. The chairman of the House Judiciary Committee accused our brave Border Patrol agents of torturing children. Folks, let's see. This is for Representative Doug Collins. Well, here, let's see. Let's see what he says here.
Question of the procedure at a hearing that we're going to hold is an important question, but it is not the subject of this markup. And although I've permitted people to talk about it and they can continue, I'm not going to add to the diversion of attention from the two crucial subjects that we have here, which is the child abuse and, as I said, negligent homicide and systematic torture of children.
Now we're stopping.
No, we're not stopping.
Yes,
Okay, so after Dems denied the border crisis for months, Nadler today claims there is child abuse, negligent homicide, and systematic torture of children at the border. Representative Andy Biggs, Republican Arizona, tore into the congressman during an interview on the Tom Starred radio show. I'm just astounded that a chairman of a committee of the United States House of Representatives would say that Border Patrol agents are torturing children. All right, Marsupial Gamer, thank you for coming by. We'll see you another day. agents are torturing children, Biggs said. House Republicans demanded that Nadler retract his flat-out lies, but he refused to do so. Nobody is torturing anybody, Biggs said. He pointed out that he saw firsthand that illegal aliens are being given medical treatment and hot meals, and they lived in air-conditioned facilities, particularly the children. So we see a lot about the adult facilities, and there's crowding and stuff. I know that the children's facilities, they are a little bit different. The children-only facilities, but they have classes and whatnot, English classes, and I don't know. They're not torturing kids. Nobody's intentionally depriving them of their rights or torturing them, he said. They come here by choice. They choose to violate our laws to enter this country. And, the parents who let themselves be separated from the children also had the choice to not be separated and leave and wait it out on the Mexican side of the border. So, I don't know. It's just, the hyperbola is just... You wonder why there are people, like that dude who attacked the facility in Washington. Are we going to start seeing more of that with this? Just it's kind of irresponsible rhetoric, if you ask me. But you know what? Nobody asked me, so. All right, let's get into some. Let's see what's trending in the world. Let's find out what people are going to be talking about today, later in the day. By checking out today's Twitter trends. All right, here we go. Let me make a couple clicks and we'll get into that. Let me put this on the screen. All right, number one today. Well, Boris Johnson. Great. The UK, United Kingdom, has a new prime minister, and that his name is Boris Johnson. I think his let's see, where is it here? Here, let's check out this real quick. We'll check out the ABC News feed of this real quick.
Is this your dream job at a nightmare time, Mr. Johnson? Morning.
Boris Johnson is elected as the leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party.
I know some wag has already pointed out that deliver, unite and defeat was not the perfect acronym for an election campaign, since unfortunately it spells dud. But they forgot the final E, my friends. E for energize. And I say to all the doubters, dude, we are going to energize the country. We're going to get Brexit done on October the 31st. And I thank you all very much for the incredible honour that you have just done me. I will work flat out from now on with my team that I will build, I hope, in the next few days to repay your confidence. But in the meantime, the campaign is over and the work begins. Thank you all very much.
All right, so as you know, because Boris Johnson is the new Prime Minister of Great Britain, that the world is going to end. I guess you'd have to ask somebody over there, what does that really mean for Great Britain? I know that, the former Prime Minister, the Dancing Queen, was not a strong, I'm sorry to put that on the screen, it was not a strong supporter of the Brexit movement. Yes, I know you can't see it. I just realized that. It was not a strong supporter of the Brexit movement. And so I don't think that she was working that hard to make it happen. Boris Johnson is completely different. He was very in tune to the Brexit movement, and he's going to get it done whether there's a deal or not. Cynical Lindsay, I've heard he's the British Trump. This is going to be fun. Well, if you go by just having bad hair, he kind of is the British Trump. But, there's a big difference between British conservatives and American conservatives, although I don't consider Trump to be a conservative, although he does seem to be pushing conservative policies. But it's going to be interesting to see. So tweeting about it, World News Tonight. President Trump, congratulations to Boris Johnson on becoming the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. He will be great. Mike Pompeo, we congratulate Boris Johnson on his election as the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. We look forward to making our special relationship even stronger. Oh, but David Lammy, So how do you describe David Lammy? If you're not familiar with British politics, I would describe David Lammy as the Maxine Waters of the male Maxine Waters of British Parliament. Okay, David Lammy says Boris Johnson's coronation as Tory leader and Prime Minister is a sad indictment of the state of modern Britain. Except he's much more articulate than Maxine Waters. Even after a career marked by incompetence, lies, and vanity, if you have been to the right school and university, you can get a top job in the country. Oh, he's sad. And then Daily Show, meet Boris Johnson, Britain's new prime minister, and stunt double for Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber. Oh, yes. People on the left don't like him. Oh, Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn says Boris Johnson has won the support of fewer than 100,000 unrepresentative Conservative Party members by promising tax cuts for the richest, presenting himself as the banker's friend, and pushing for a damaging no Brexit deal. Gee, it sounds just like U.S. politics. Oh, yes, we're promising tax cuts for the rich. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Now this guy, fuck the government, fuck Boris. Okay. Somebody at Glastonbury made that. All right. So looking forward to the general election now. Let's see here what this says. It's the arrogance. It's the contempt. That's what gets me. It's Gordon Brown's apparent belief that he can just trample on the democratic will of the British people. It's at moments like this that I think the political world has gone mad, and I am alone in detecting the gigantic fraud. They voted for Tony, and yet now they get Gordon. And a transition about, okay, this is Boris Johnson 2007. I don't know why there. Anyway, so, we'll see what happens. It's going to be, let's just say the world will continue to be interesting. All right, moving on. Trending number 2, Tuesday Thoughts. As opposed to Tuesday Thoughts, let's see if we can get one good one today. Top thought of the day by Donnie Wahlberg of Wahlburgers and New Kids on the Block and of Blue Bloods. Okay, this one looks pretty good. This may be our thought of the day. If you get still, search your soul, then make the choice you are facing with nothing but love in your heart. You'll have no regrets. You'll have no resentments. You'll have no expectations. You'll have no disappointments. You will have nothing but peace. That and a few bucks, I can grab a coffee at Starbucks. So there you go. All right. From Brooksville to Tampa to Clearwater, we did 3 trainings in 3 cities in 3 days. We're laser focused on registering new Republican voters. See you in Sarasota. Okay. That's the Persistence. They're Trump supporting people. Oh, this is the Trump parody account. I always get a kick out of this. My supporters, this is a parody account, remind you. My supporters chanted, "Send them back." One of the women comes from a place called Michigan. Never heard of it. They say Michigan is full of lions and wolverines. They're everywhere, and they can't be tamed. And the natives who live there are proud of that. Tuesday Thoughts. Oh my, oh my. Oh, here's some CNN breaking top news. Jerry Nadler's a little salty because the Justice Department decided to say within the scope of the investigation when he meets in front of the, that didn't work. When he testifies before the House, Jerry Nadler says Justice Department incredibly arrogant for telling Mueller to stay within bounds of the report. Probably the reason they need to stay within the bounds of the report is because there are investigations going on regarding some of the people who investigated this whole damn thing. Let's see here. Okay, and he's not happy. I'll tell you that right now. House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler called the Justice Department incredibly arrogant Tuesday for directing former Special Counsel Robert Mueller to adhere to the 448-page report he issued earlier this year during his upcoming testimony before the committee. On Monday, the Justice Department, in a letter signed by the Associate Deputy Attorney General Bradley Weinsheimer, and sent to Mueller, said that the former special counsel must remain within the boundaries of your public report because matters within the scope of your investigation were covered by executive privilege during his hearing before the House committee on Wednesday morning. The letter was sent in response to Mueller's request for guidance about his testimony. So it wasn't just out of the blue. Mueller asked for guidance. I don't think it's much of an impediment simply because Bob Mueller has indicated repeatedly that he was going to do exactly that. I think it's incredibly arrogant of the department to try to instruct him as to what to say. He asked for guidance. The department gave him guidance, you moron. It's a part of the ongoing cover-up. There is no cover-up by the administration to keep information away from the American people. Look, the report was made public with redactions required by law about grand jury testimony. Duh! What cover-up? But that's, you know what? It's now, you're going to hear that language over and over and over because the corporate media takes its cues from the Democrat chairmen of committees. Or, you know, they will repeat over and over anything the Democrats say. So you'll get this narrative. Nadler, a New York Democrat, added that he doesn't think the department's letter will have a real impact on Mueller's testimony. Right, because he already said he's going to do that. Mueller asked for guidance about his testimony, and the department gave him the guidance. It's hilarious. They just want to they want to twist words and make it sound like everything's the end. Let's go back to Twitter trends. What are we on now? Let's see. Tuesday thoughts. Number 3, Tuesday motivation. We'll skip that. Mark Sanchez is trending. The former Jets quarterback. Let's see. Oh, Mark Sanchez has officially retired. Turnovers will never be the same. Now, wait a minute. Which Mark Sanchez is trending, though? There's two Marks. The one retiring from the NFL, because there's another Mark Sanchez. The San Francisco Board of Education unanimously voted in favor of painting over a George Washington mural series on a school wall on July 20. Are you kidding me? Asked about the estimated cost for its removal, $600,000? Education Commissioner Mark Sanchez said, "This is reparations?" Did I read this right? Hang on. I'm going to open this article. Are you kidding me? This is the first I've heard of this one. San Francisco Board of Education unanimously voted last month in favor of painting over a George Washington mural series on a school wall depicting Washington standing over a Native American corpse and another in the company of slaves. It is Mount Vernon Estate. Are they going to show the picture of this thing? Interesting. This is reparations, Education Board Commissioner Mark Sanchez said in a KQED report when asked about the estimated $600,000 price tag for its removal. It could reportedly take a year to complete. Wait, what are they painting a new mural, or are they just got to paint over it? That's what I would get. Oh, I see what they're doing. The 1,600 square foot mural series titled Life of Washington was painted on a San Francisco George Washington High School in 1936 by Russian-American artists and Stanford University professor Viktor Arnotov. It was funded by the New Deal's Works Progress Administration. So this is Franklin Roosevelt's fault. It's Franklin Roosevelt's fault. School district spokesman Laura Dudnick confirmed that although only 2 mural pieces stand out as offensive to members of the community, the board's decision would apply to all 13 panels of the mural. School board members had to decide whether to cover and preserve the painting using panels or textiles, or completely erase it by painting over it. Buckling under pressure from those who find the images offensive to certain members of the school community, the board decided to paint over it. Advocates for removing the mural included local high school students, George Washington High School graduates, and Native Americans. During a public comment portion of the June 25th meeting, Paloma Flores, program coordinator for the district's Indian education program, said, per QQED, it's not a matter of offense. It's a matter of the right to learn without a hostile environment. Intent does not negate lived experience, she said. Mural critics in the community believe the artist's intentions are irrelevant in light of the harm to young people of color daily confronted by images of their ancestors debased. It's painting over a mural. It's interesting. I mean, I get it. Times change, whatever, but it's still... In his interview with historian Fergus M. Bordowich, Arnonoff included those images not to glorify Washington, but rather to provoke a nuanced evaluation of his legacy. The scene with the dead Native American, for instance, calls attention to the price of manifest destiny. Arnonoff murals also portray the slaves with humanity and the several live Indians as vigorously and manly. Those who condemn the murals have misunderstood it, seeing only what they sought to find. They've also got their history seriously wrong. Washington did own slaves, 124 men, women, and children, and oversaw many more who belonged to his wife's family. But by his later years, he had evolved into a proto-abolitionist, a remarkable ethical journey for a man of his time, place, and class. It's going to take a year to... it doesn't seem to say... The removal of the murals is expected to take at least a year, according to the district staff. Before proceeding with painting over the mural, its historical significance requires an environmental review. In the case that the painting takes more time than expected, the district should cover it with panels. 3 years, Sanchez said, would be considered undue delay. If they're painting over it, I don't know why it takes 3 years to paint over anything. But I don't know, man. I get it, but I don't get it. You preserve the art. Do you just are we just going to pretend history didn't happen? Why not make that a lesson, a history lesson? It's just crazy, man. I don't get these decisions, but I mean, in a way I do, but in a way I don't. Anyway, moving on. Amy Winehouse. It's the anniversary of Amy Winehouse's death. She's a pretty cool artist. I mean, I unfortunately she had serious drug issues and died, but she's super talented and let's see here.
You can say I told you so. If I ever heard ya.
Anyway, you can go check out Amy Winehouse yourself. She died, I think I can't remember what year she died in, but the Archer track, okay, that's something, I don't need anything related to Taylor Swift. I'm skipping. Daniel Radcliffe celebrates his 30th birthday. Harry Potter's 30 years old? Are you kidding me? Harry Potter's 30 years old. Happy birthday, Daniel Radcliffe. All right. Yeah. He's in some series now. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called, but it has zero interest. Oh, and 9 years since One Direction joined forces. I'm not even going to click that one because I don't care. United Kingston. Why is United Kingston? Oh, geez. Spell check. Hey, there had to be a Trump something on the top trending things. Ivanka Trump had a spell check error. Saving before it gets... And so people are going to rip on her. You know what? Right now, a whole team of publicists and handlers are fiercely working on a way for Ivanka to handle her United Kingston tweet humorously. But you know it's killing her inside, and for that, we can all be grateful. Gee, Andy. Yes, great. But, okay, so people are ripping on Ivanka Trump. There's your Trump tweet of the day that made it into the top trending things on Twitter. Tuesday morning's trending. Kimba's Twitter. Kimba, the White Lion, regains spotlight in the Lion King release. Yeah. The Lion King plagiarism controversy from the 1990s has resurfaced. Kimba, the White Lion, regains the spotlight with the Lion King release. Interesting. Oh. Retweets Sean King. What? Osamu Tezuka, a Japanese animator, created the anime Kimba, the White Lion in 1965. Disney claims they knew nothing about Tezuka and prided that The Lion King was original content, while others search for what they can't. Excuse me. Oh, I see. Fascinating. I did not know about this. Apparently, yet Disney is more successful and The Lion King is basically Hamlet. I thought everyone knew this, that we kind of accepted it, you know. I had no idea. The entire montage is like a total of a minute of footage out of a 90-minute movie. And Kimba's plot is legit nothing like Lion King's, as it's about relationship between animals and people. The Lion King doesn't even have a human character. Okay. So maybe... Oh, and both of them are based on Hamlet. All right. Doesn't change the fact that designs and animators were blatantly stolen, though. Okay, well... Okay, that's fascinating. Huh. I've never even heard of that controversy, but there you go. And why he's tweeting to Sean King about that? Why? I guess in light of this popping again, here's some fan art I did 5 years ago of Kimba and Simba being friends. Okay, well, I did not know that. That's a big controversy about the Lion King. Did any of you know? Did any of you ever hear of that? I had never heard of it. Oh, Dear UK is trending, and the UK is also trending because of Boris Johnson. British Trump is trending because of Boris Johnson. Let's see the Dear UK. Let's start with this one. I've got about 5 minutes to go. Dear UK, thank you so much for this March for Change. We in the EU do notice that there are so many sane people in your country. We will never forget or let you down. If Leavers want it, UK and EU, we aren't enemies. We aren't even friends. We are family. Brexit is insane. Huh. That's from Königswerder König. Whatever that means. Dear UK tweets, in my new 6-part series, Revolution, start on BBC4 next Thursday. Okay, whatever. Dear UK, this is how it's done. Incredible footage. Oh, she's encouraging the UK to have a general strike because of Boris Johnson. Wow, incredible footage of national strike in Puerto Rico right now. That's because they're getting rid of the corrupt-ass governor. Dear UK, she's hoping that they strike. Okay, what else? Oh, dear UK, mainstream press journalists. When she says others, she means you. Regards, Tom. Okay, I don't know what that means. Dear UK, please read. Oh, good God. Okay, so the requisite Hitler, Germany, Nazi Germany references are here. Dear UK, please read this and act or weep. It's already happening to you. Dear America, you are waking up as Germany once did to the awareness that 1/3 of your people would kill another third while another watches. Let me break this to you freaking morons, okay? No. 1/3 of the people in this country have no interest in killing anybody. Okay? The other third have no interest in killing anybody, and the other third have no interest in killing anybody. No, this is not Nazi Germany. No, we are not under a dictatorship. We are still under representative republic, and if it was a dictatorship, there'd be a whole lot of journalists, pundits, Congress people, and whatever in gulags right now, because all they do is bitch about Trump. But you know what? The budget deal had to be made, and he had to cooperate with Democrats. All this stuff, oh my God. Oh, breathe, Marty, breathe. That's me, Marty, a.k.a. Dawg Knight. We are not in the brink of another Nazi Germany, you freaking morons. Dear UK, sure, we'll take Katie off your hands, but you'll have to take Kumquat Pol Pot and his spokesmorons, Petomini Lauren and Insanity Hannity, in return. Aw, sweet. Dear UK, we haven't asked for much since you colonized us, but please vote Michael off. I beg. Oh, dear UK, this is from yesterday. Please don't elect Boris Johnson. One false, rude, egotistical person fanning racism in the top post of a nuclear-armed democracy is enough. The world needs UK to be stable and show leadership now more than ever as we suffer Trump. Good God. Good God. Oh, good God. These people, I swear. British Trump, okay. UK, okay, more about them. Leo season, best time to cause drama and get attention. Leo season, okay, apparently it's Leo season. Brexit, of course, we'll skip that. My next step in life is... My next step in life... We'll do a couple of these, if there's any good ones. My next step in life, start sitting by the dock of the bay, wasting time. Sitting in the morning sun, I'll be sitting till the evening comes, watching the ships roll in, and I watch them roll away again. Oh, now I'm sitting on the dock of the bay, watching time roll away. Oh, sitting on the dock of the bay, wasting time. My next step in life is stay happy and healthy. That's cute. My next step in life, gonna be carefully planned as to reduce the chances of it being the last step. My next step in life is finding my way out of this joint. My next step in life is to step up. Step up! That movie's terrible. All right. My next step in life is knowing when to keep my mouth shut. Snitches get stitches. All right, let's move on. That's a cute one for today. Check out the my next step in life is. Okay, R2 Equity, Boris Day, terrible inspirational sayings. Okay, we're going to finish with terrible inspirational sayings because this one should be fairly funny. So let's see if we can find some terrible inspirational sayings. This is better than Tuesday motivation. What doesn't kill you will make you wish it did. That's a good one. If you love someone, set them free. If they return, no one else wanted them either. Set them free again. If at first you don't succeed, it's probably because you're not very good at anything. You know what? You can't miss when the bar is so low. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because you got revenge. Terrible inspiration saying this week's hashtag, and you're it, hosted by Brand New McCann. Okay. People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. I believe in you, but I also can't believe it's not butter. So there's that. If first you don't succeed, don't bother trying because, again, you suck. Just do it tomorrow. These are great. If you can't say anything nice, become a Twitter troll. Hey, I could do that. I should start just trolling more on Twitter. I might get more followers if I do that. I just don't, Speaking of Twitter, by the way, and what I'm doing here today, by the way, the Morning Night Live is brought to you by you, the members and watchers of the Morning Night Live. If you so choose, of course, right down here is that arrow. Please hit the share button. If you haven't seen the whole show and you come back and watch later, hit the share button and send it out on social media. Also, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Or if you don't like me, if you don't like me, you can hit the don't like button or the not, whatever that other button is. Hit the like button. And then also we always do, what is it? We do super chats. I don't have super chats because I don't have enough subscribers. But if you want to do super chats, we do them through the Streamlab link down below, and we do donations there. So if you want to support the station, the channel, whatever we do here. Anyway, we'll do a couple more terrible inspirational sayings, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. Early to bed, early to rise. Fuck that shit. Just terrible lies. I don't know what's going on here. So a lot of these pictures aren't coming up. I must be having internet problems, but y'all can still hear me, right? Terrible inspirational sayings. Let's do two more. Let's find two good ones. There's no I in time, as in the seasoning time. What's good for the goose is poppycock to the dance to the gander. That was terrible. Once bitten, twice shy, thrice pervert. Be terrible, my friend. All right. You may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but at least you'll be the dullest spoon. Oh. Terrible inspirational sayings. I suck. And on that note, I needed the money. Anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we got to close it down today on the Morning Night Live. Yeah, we're here every day, Monday through Friday. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m. GMT. For those of you who know what GMT is, and we got a 1 there. And okay. What was I saying? We're here Monday through Friday. Yes, 10 o'clock Eastern. And y'all can figure it out from there. But, here we go. Early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. There you go. That's a great inspirational saying. I might change my entire Twitter bio to that. That's a good one. Anyway, we got to get out of here, folks. I thank you so much for being here. It's so fun to have those people who come here each and every day. And also, it's fun to get new viewers once in a while, so it's nice. It'd be nice to get them more often, but hey, I'll take the people I got. I'm happy with that. You're great folks, and I really appreciate you. So I got to get out of here. I don't know if I have to say anything else. Anything else? Anyone got anything else? Throw us something in the chat. I don't know. I won't see it until I close out anyway. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Dawg Knight. And I am out of here. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and I want to thank you for joining me today on the Dawg Knight channel. Before you go, if you like what you saw and you're not already subscribed, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below, and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, and 2 p.m. GMT. A special thanks to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through our Streamlabs link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.